whenever I hear a politician or a journalist talk about how wonderful the future is going to be, how we're going to be living in Star Trek in a cashless society, it makes me puke. And I think like this type of sensation should be spread around the world because like every single decent person should also feel like puking when they hear the concept of a cashless society. The reason is because we get to notice how the people that are supposed to provide this cashless utopia are behaving. Just a couple of days ago, a fellow content creator by the name of Arch was pretty much told by PayPal to go fuck himself. Now, they didn't actually tell him like that. They used a very nice corporate HR positive way of telling him to go fuck himself, but the sentiment was pretty much there. Like, apparently what happened, the man just wakes up, finishes masturbating to get rid of his morning wood, and then when he goes on the computer, he thinks he's getting scammed. Opens his mailbox and notices that, oh yes, your PayPal account has been deactivated. And he's like, well, surely that cannot be the case, because I don't do anything bad. I don't associate myself with, like, terrorist organization. I don't like to terrorize people. I don't do the speech of hate. I do the speech of boring. Like, no one even watches my live streams, right? Like, I'm a boring person. Why am I being deplatformed by a payment processor? Surely this is a scam. And then when he actually goes on the website of PayPal and logs in the normal way, he finds out that, no, actually, PayPal did tell him to go fuck himself. And the way they did was without even saying why. It's like, due to suspicious activity, we have decided to shut down your account permanently. Like, until the day you die, you will never be allowed to have another account. And obviously, this causes a little bit of distress in the average individual. You know, cortisol levels rising, adrenaline pumping. It's like, what is going on? Like, why do I deserve this? I'm just an average individual. What have I done? And so he goes on the internet and asks people to raise awareness of the issue. And if you actually were one of those people, I would like to thank you for it. Because it turns out that PayPal does respond. And what they said is very interesting, and I think it's actually connected to this story. They basically said that it's related to certain transactions that weren't done in USDs or euros. So basically, Arch received some money into some foreign currency, and this is why his account got flagged. Now, he is a streamer, right? Like, he's streaming for the public, and people give him super chats, and probably, like, someone gave him money into a currency that's neither euro or USD. And this triggered the account. Now, he's got some money on the account. I think he's got like $1,500 or so. And currently, he can't access it. Like, currently, the money is taken away from him until they will reopen his account. And they also haven't announced when that will happen. So, put yourself into his position, right? Like, you have some money in your account, like maybe grandma's birthday is coming out, and you want to give grandma a present, but you can't because evil PayPal has taken it away from you. And an evil politician and journalist is talking to you about cashless societies. How high does your middle finger needs to get raised in order to show to other people that you're a decent person? But anyway, right, that happened last week, and this week, it seems that Steam is unable to provide PayPal services to a couple of countries. And people are weirded up, like, what's going on? And as you can see, like, Valve actually responds, because usually these banks operate in silence. And you genuinely, like, don't know who's responsible for doing the stuff. You know, they talk about brand protection, but they're afraid to tell you which brand is it that is actively fucking with your video games. And I definitely think, like, maybe this is what they mean by brand protection, right? Like, operating in the shadows while politicians are promoting cashless societies. In other words, like, for them to get more profits, right? And so, as you can see here, PayPal use on Steam is currently available in my currency. Why? In early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that their acquiring bank for payment transaction in certain currency was immediately terminating the processing of any transaction related to Steam. This affects Steam purchase using PayPal in currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollars, British pounds, Japanese, Australian, and USDs. We hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We are also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected by this. In the meantime, please use one of our other payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using the Steam wallet code. Okay, so because of the timing of this, a lot of people are associating it with the other issue where Visa and MasterCard were pressuring Steam to censor video games. And, you know, they were basically community noted on Twitter when Visa and MasterCard said that they're not doing that by people literally showing, no, you're actually having on your terms of service, like certain material in pure fiction where you're not allowed the distribution of it. And even more so, there have been cases in the past where you have pressured book authors and people writing erotica in order to ban these things. So no, you're totally deciding, just like Eastern Germany was deciding under communism, like they had a couple of hags, like 45-year-olds that would watch pornography all day to decide which one is acceptable for the socialist mindset and which one isn't. I'm not kidding, like Germany literally did that. Like they had a committee of deciding which porn is okay and which one isn't. And so now they're doing the same, but for books. Like not stuff with real actors, right? Like books, video games, like pure fiction. And because it's there, you know, like other people that work under Visa and MasterCard, including payment processors and banks and stuff, like they have to comply. So whether or not Visa and MasterCard are directly responsible, it doesn't fucking matter. Like until they change their terms of service and make an exception for pure works of fiction that are legal, people should continue being outraged, right? This one, however, I don't know if it has to do with video games because, again, like it happened to Arch. It's now happening to Steam. And it's not on the adult games part of Steam. It's like on Steam as a whole. And so, like, there's no information to go on. And so I'll assume that it's still about the video games. Fuck it, why not? You know, until they actively say which one is it, like maybe Visa and MasterCard should also have another policy that would actually help the public in order to make sure that everything that comes down from them is very clear and explicit on why they are deplatforming, right? So, like, I still blame Visa and MasterCard because, like, they want, what was it called? Brand safety, right? So if they want brand safety, just like they have an issue calling for the ban of certain fiction, they should also have another terms of service that say that any bank that works with us and wants to do this type of shit should be very explicit in explaining why. Like, is there some legislation that the bank is in which forces it to not make transactions in other currencies? Is it an issue that, like, someone making transactions in other currencies was creating a lot of scam or whatever? You know, at least give a general idea. Like, don't necessarily be that specific to the point where you can get lawsuits. But at least inform the public on what the issue is so that the public can actually petition their lawmakers or they can make their own opinions if they should or shouldn't purchase or use that bank in the future. Still, you know, the fact that that Valve is actually directly naming acquiring banks is a big thing. Because these acquiring banks, you know, usually operate in the shadows and they're the ones responsible for a lot of censorship. Especially when it came to guns and other issues. And so, like, if they want to dictate based on morality what the public should or shouldn't buy, they should come into the out of the shadows, right? Like, if they're such moral entities, if these corporations are basking in morality, like, maybe they should come out from the shadows so that we can applaud them. You know, like, they're the ones keeping our society safe. Like, imagine what would happen without acquiring banks. Still, props for Steam for talking about finding other payment options. In my opinion, though, the more they try to push for this censorship, especially when it affects normies, and video games absolutely affect normies, as I mentioned before, like, there are two strong pillars that are holding society together, and this has been true since the Roman era. One of those pillars is bread, and the other pillars is the circus. And recently, in their infinite wisdom, the payment processors have decided to constantly fuck with the circus. Well, when you fuck with the circus usually finds ways to go around your bullshit. This is even why payment processors existed in the first place, right? Like, a lot of people don't know, but it's true. Payment processors were invented because of pornography. Like, you had a lot of websites back in the day, back in the early 2000s, which had cam girls. And the cam girls required a way of getting paid. And so people invented payment processors specifically in order to provide the service that the public needed. Another reason why you have live streaming is because of pornography. Like, people would watch the cam girls, and they would notice that when someone smacks their ass, there's a delay between the palm reaching the tushy and the clap. And so, like, people invested into making better technology for live streaming. What I'm trying to say is that not that porn is responsible, but like when you create a demand, when like millions of people want something, well, it's sufficient that out of those millions of people, you have some autistic individuals dedicated enough in order to find solutions. And so messing with the video games is definitely a good way for people to find alternative solutions to this nonsense. And so I genuinely think that 5 or 10 years down the future, it's actually going to be more difficult for payment processors to pull this shit. And it's only because they're fucking with the video games. Like, look, it shouldn't be this way. It doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Like, you think, no, if they're fucking with Wall Street or if they're fucking with the energy sector, for some reason, I can't explain why it is. It's the video games. It's the video games and porn. Like, when people mess with these two things, that's when people get off of their ass and start innovating. Anyway, right, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Stop touching the video games. Otherwise, people are going to become innovative. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.